Good morning, children. Welcome back to chemistry class. In the previous class, we discussed the percentage composition and percentage of yield. Now let us see the uses of percentage composition in the determination of empirical formula, from which we can determine the molecular formula also if molecular weight of the substance is known. Let us see what empirical formula and molecular formula. First, empirical formula. You have already studied that empirical formula is the formula of a compound which gives the simplest ratio of atoms of various elements present in the compound. This empirical formula is used both for molecular substances and ionic substances. The ionic substances do not have molecules, so the name molecular formula is not meaningless in the case of ionic substances, as there are no molecules in the ionic substances. Formula means empirical formula. For example, formula of sodium chloride is NaCl. It is nothing but the empirical formula of sodium chloride. It's not the molecular formula. There are no molecules of sodium chloride. In sodium chloride, sodium and chloride ions are aggregated together. A definite number of chloride ions are surrounded by each sodium ion, and a definite number of each sodium ion is surrounded by a chloride ion. Actually, in the sodium chloride, each sodium is surrounded by 6 chloride ions, and each chloride ion is surrounded by 6 sodium ions, and this kind of aggregation leads the formation of a three-dimensional arrangement of these ions, which is known as the crystal lattice, in which each sodium ion is surrounded by 6 chloride ions and each chloride ion is surrounded by 6 sodium ions. There are no discrete molecules of sodium chloride, but whatever the amount of substance of sodium chloride is taken, it contains the ratio of sodium and chlorine atoms 1:1. That is, in the 1:1 ratio of sodium and chlorine atoms are present, or sodium and chloride ions are present in sodium chloride, irrespective of the amount of substance. So, we have taken the formula of sodium chloride as NaCl. On the other hand, molecular formula is used for molecular substances or covalent substances which are made up of discrete molecules. For example, water. Water contains discrete molecules. Each molecule of water contains 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen. Okay? Discrete particles known as molecules are present in covalent substances, whereas the particles present in ionic substances are ions, cations and anions. For every cation, there exists a specific number of anions. For example, sodium chloride, formula of sodium chloride is NaCl. In NaCl means Na1Cl1. That means for every sodium ion, there exists 1 chloride ion. Calcium chloride, the formula of calcium chloride is CaCl2. In calcium chloride, for each calcium ion, there exists 2 chloride ions in the compound, irrespective of the amount of calcium chloride taken. Okay. In the same way, magnesium oxide. Magnesium oxide is also an ionic substance. In magnesium oxide, for each magnesium ion, there exists 1 chloride ion. So the formula of magnesium oxide is MgO. These are all the empirical formulae. These are all the empirical formulae. These are all covalent substances. No discrete molecules present in these substances. So all these formulae are the empirical formulae. On the other hand, molecular substances have molecular formulae. Molecular substances have molecular formulae. The molecular formula represents the number of actual atoms of various elements present in one molecule of a substance. It represents the actual number of atoms of various elements present in one molecule of substance. For example, H2O is a molecular substance which is made up of H2O molecules. That is, each molecule of water is made up of 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen. And these atoms are arranged in a specific manner in water. In the solid state of water, H2O molecules are arranged in the crystal lattice. In the liquid state of water, H2O molecules are free to move. In the steam also, H2O molecules are free to move. But a rigid three-dimensional arrangement of H2O molecules exists in solid state only. Okay. The molecular formula of methane is CH4. Here also, for each carbon atom, there exists 4 hydrogen atoms in the molecule of methane. The molecular formula of ethane, ethane's molecular formula is C2H6. For every 2 carbon atoms in the molecule, there exists 6 hydrogen atoms. So, molecular formula of ethane is C2H6. But the simple ratio of atoms present in ethane is C1H3 or CH3. C1H3 or CH3. This CH3 or C1H3 is the empirical formula of ethane, whereas C2H6 is the molecular formula of ethane. The molecular formula is showing actual number of atoms of various elements present in the molecule, whereas empirical formula is showing the simplest ratio of atoms of various elements present in the compound, irrespective of the amount of substance. Okay. For some substances, molecular formula may be equal to empirical formula. Ethylene or ethene, molecular formula is C2H4 and empirical formula is CH2. As the simplest ratio of carbon and hydrogen in ethene is 1:2, 1:2, C1H2. So empirical formula is CH2. The molecular formula of acetylene is C2H2. The simplest ratio is C1H1 or CH. Empirical formula of acetylene is CH. For benzene, molecular formula is C6H6. Empirical formula, simplest ratio is C1H1. Empirical formula is again CH. For water, molecular formula is H2O. Empirical formula is also H2O. For water, molecular formula is H2O. Empirical formula is also H2O. Carbon dioxide, molecular formula is CO2 and empirical formula is also CO2. Next, hydrogen peroxide. Molecular formula is H2O2 and empirical formula is HO only. From this you can understand that molecular substances have both molecular formula and empirical formula. Molecular substances have both molecular formula and empirical formula. The molecular formulae of some substances, are different from their empirical formulae. C2H6 CH3, C2H4 CH2, C2H2 CH, C6H6 CH. That is, molecular formulae and empirical formulae are different. For some substances like water and carbon dioxide, molecular formula and empirical formula are one and the same. That is H2O. For carbon dioxide, CO2, CO2. Whereas in the case of hydrogen peroxide, molecular formula is H2O2 and empirical formula is HO. Again, molecular formula is different from empirical formula. So for some substances, for some molecular substances, molecular formula may be same as the empirical formula. For some other molecular substances, molecular formula may be the same as the empirical formula. For some substances, molecular formula is different from empirical formula. For some other substances, molecular formula is same as empirical formula. And the molecular formulae and empirical formulae of some substances are one and the same. So from this you can understand that the word molecular formula can be used only for molecular substances, but empirical formula can be used for both molecular and ionic substances. The word molecular formula should not be used for ionic substances, as there are no molecules in the ionic substances. Okay? So, this is the difference between empirical formula and molecular formula. Let us see how to find the empirical formula of a substance by knowing the percentage compositions of various elements present in the substance. Determination of empirical formula. From percentage compositions. Determination of empirical formula from percentage composition. If the percentages of masses of all the elements present in a compound are known, we can find the empirical formula of the substance. Let us see how to find. For example, an unknown substance contains 29.11% of sodium, 40.51% of sulfur, and 30.38% of oxygen. What is the percentage composition of substance? Percentage composition of a substance is nothing but the percentages of masses of all the elements present in the compound. The percentage composition of a substance is sodium is equal to 29.11%, sulfur is equal to 40.51%, and oxygen is equal to 30.38%. These are the percentages of masses of various elements present in the compound. Percent means per 100 grams. That means 100 grams of the substance contains 29.11 grams of sodium, 40.51 grams of sulfur and 30.38 grams of oxygen. Okay. What are these? 100 grams of substance contains 100 grams of substance contains 29.11 grams of sodium, 40.51 grams of sulfur and 30.38 grams of oxygen. This is the meaning of that one. So first step, this is the first step. First step is expression of the masses of various elements per 100 grams of compound. What is the first step? Expression of masses of various elements in 100 grams of compound. In 100 grams of compound. That is the first step. Okay. Next step is determination of number of gram atoms. Determination of number of gram atoms of various elements. How do you find the number of gram atoms? Number of gram atoms can be found by dividing the mass of the element with gram atomic mass of element. So here number of gram atoms of sodium is equal to mass of sodium by gram molecular mass of sodium. How much of sodium is present in 100 grams of sodium? 29.11 grams. 29.11 grams by gram atomic mass of sodium is 23. This gives the number of gram atoms. In the same way, let us calculate that one. 29.11 by 23, that is 12.656. That is 12.66 approximately. 12.66 gram atoms are present. In the same way, let us find number of gram atoms of sulfur is equal to mass of sulfur, that is 41.51 grams. 40.51 grams by gram atomic weight of sulfur, 32 grams. Mass of sulfur in grams by gram atomic mass of sulfur, that is equal to 40.51 by 32. That is equal to 1.265. 1.265. This is also not 1.266. This is 1.265. Okay. Next, number of gram atoms of oxygen is equal to mass of oxygen, that is 30.38 grams by, here we can write grams for all, 30.38 grams by gram atomic mass of oxygen is 16 grams. 30.38 by 16. That is equal to 1.89, approximately 1.9. 1.9 gram atoms. These are the gram atoms of various substances. This is the second step. The third step is determination of ratio of gram atoms, determination of ratio of gram atoms of elements. What is the ratio of gram atoms of elements? 1.266 is to 1.265 is to 1.9 is the ratio of gram atoms of elements. Okay, this can be obtained by dividing this ratio with the simplest number. Let us find the ratio. A ratio of gram atoms of first element is sodium, second is sulfur, and third one is oxygen, is equal to 1.266 is to 1.265 is to 1.9. In order to make it as a simple ratio, next step is we need to make it as a simple ratio. This is not in whole number ratio. Let us make it as a simple ratio. Finding the simple ratio, let us divide this with the simplest one. 1.266 and 1.265 are approximately same. Let us divide with 1.265. Divide all these with 1.265. Then we get 1 is to 1.9 by 1.265. 1.9 by 1.265 is equal to 1.5. 1 is to 1.5 is the ratio. Here also we have not got the whole number ratio. So in order to make it as a whole number ratio, let us multiply that ratio with 2. If this ratio is multiplied by 2, we get 2 is to 3. All the numbers are whole numbers. This is the simple ratio. 1 is to 1.5 is the simple ratio. 2 is to 3 is the simple whole number ratio. So after the determination of ratio of gram atoms, we need to convert it into simple whole number ratio. That is the third step. The fourth step is writing the formula by using these values as subscripts to the atoms. Therefore, empirical formula is, what are the elements? Na, yes, right. I will write at the top. Empirical formula. Of the compound, that is unknown compound, is, what are the three elements present in it? Na, S, O. Write these numbers as suffixes. 2, Na2, S2, O3. Na2, S2, O3. This is the empirical formula. This represents sodium thiosulfate. Sodium thiosulfate. The compound which has the formula Na2S2O3 is sodium thiosulfate. It is made up of sodium ions and thiosulfate ions. It is an ionic compound, not a molecular compound. So the formula of sodium thiosulfate is Na2H2O3. This is the way of finding the empirical formula. What are the different steps? First step is from the percentages of all the elements, we have to write the amounts of various substances in grams per 100 grams of substances. That is, we need to express the masses of elements in 100 grams of compound. That is the first step. Second step is determination of number of gram atoms of various elements. How do you determine the number of gram atoms? By dividing the masses of the elements with their gram atomic masses, we can find the number of gram atoms. Here, mass of sodium, gram atomic mass of sodium. Mass of sodium is divided by gram atomic mass of sodium to get the number of gram atoms of sodium. Mass of sulfur is divided by gram atomic mass of sulfur to get the number of gram atoms of sulfur. The mass of oxygen is divided by gram atomic mass of oxygen to get the number of gram atoms of oxygen. That is the second step. The third step is the determination of ratio of gram atoms. The ratio, finding the ratio. A ratio is this one. The ratio of these numbers. We need to make this ratio as a simple ratio. For that purpose, all the values are divided with the smallest of these numbers. Which is smallest of these numbers? 126, 1.266 or 1.265 by 1.265 by 1.265. All are divided by the same number. If these are divided by this one, we get 1:1:1.5. This is not a whole number ratio. In order to make it whole number ratio, these values are multiplied by 2. So ratio became 2:2:3. And next step is writing those whole number values as subscripts to the corresponding atoms in the formula. Corresponding atoms to get the empirical formula. This is the way of finding the empirical formula of compound.